So I'm on, week 5 now of DIY data science, and things are definitely starting to get more difficult. You see, I knew in the beginning of the project that my lack of any mathematical background would prove to be a challenge as I got into more advanced, or really just intermediate concepts, and, well, I was right. I focused on applied data science instead of the theoretical stuff that I wouldn't be able to understand, and that got me so far, to the point where I'm going to be completing a project this week. I know some machine learning, I've done some toying around with stuff, and I'm pretty confident in some of those skills, at least at a very, very beginner level, but I know to go any further than this, I'm gonna need to start learning math. Even some of these introductory courses that don't claim any prerequisites get into some math in their later chapters that I kind of understand after some Googling. And this isn't to say that I don't like math. I actually really, really enjoy math. I'm minoring in math. I plan on taking a lot of math courses, and well, that's why I think it might be time to kind of diverge from this data science path. In the next semester, I'm going to be taking discrete math and calc, and then in the semester after that, I'm going to be taking statistics and linear algebra and calc 2, and after that, I'm going to have the foundation that I need to learn more machine learning, to learn more data analysis, but as it stands, I don't have those courses under my belt. And I could teach myself the math, but why would I try to teach myself some ad hoc linear algebra and kind of cannibalize the education that I am begrudgingly paying for at university? I'm not abandoning data science though. Don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm still gonna learn more. I want to learn more natural language processing. I want to learn a little bit about social network analysis. University of Michigan has courses those are the titles of the courses in the applied data science specialization, which I have loved so far and I will finish. I'm just not going to be diving 110% into it yet. Instead, I'm going to start focusing on different aspects of kind of the software engineering space. Right now, I think I'm going to start with JavaScript because that can do full stack development, and I'll go down Free Code Camp and kind of learn more about building websites and web development, all of that. Hopefully, you don't need linear algebra to build a website. I don't think you do. But I think that's going to be good. And as for this series, I'm still going to keep the DIY something moniker, and I'm still going to tack up the weeks every time. I might not be DIY data science, maybe I'll do DIY computer science, or DIY full stack development, I don't know. We'll see what YouTube's algorithm likes the most, so I can optimize everything for the search engine. So yeah, anyways, project, course, start another course, and probably start some of the Free Code Camp stuff. But yeah, that's going to be it for this little clip here. I'll take you behind the scenes to my massive stuff. And yeah, let's get set up for learning. Alright, so just took a couple days off for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Sorry, don't kill me. Hustle culture for not grinding 24/7. I do take holidays off at least. But yeah, so today I just finished University of Michigan's machine learning course. Really awesome. If I could break down the course, it would basically be, they taught you the fundamentals of machine learning in a more theoretical way, but they paired that with breaking down a bunch of different technical machine learning algorithms and how to implement them in scikit-learn. And it's pretty formulaic. Like, you get the model, you fit the model, you predict, you readjust some different variables. And they pretty much just walked you through that and how to kind of visualize certain steps so that you can draw conclusions from it. They walked you through that for a boatload. I'm sure I'll be putting some stuff on the screen here. They did that for a boatload of different machine learning algorithms. So it feels almost like a toolbox. Like, now I have a toolbox, and they have a final project associated with this course, but something I'm going to experiment with is, instead of doing the projects that the courses tell me to do, I'm going to break off and do my own sort of project, even though this is actually a very open-ended project, so it's not the best example, but break off and do my own project. That way I can ask different questions, kind of get a little bit of a different experience, and obviously that's not an absolute rule. I'll see how things go. But yeah, after I get this project done, I want to switching to a Kickstarter data set, which labeled certain things as successes or failures, how much money, how long the Kickstarter project was up, and a bunch of different stats on that. And I think it's going to be better than YouTube because all the YouTube data I could pull, if it was about my personal channel, there's just not enough data to do anything with it. And it was about YouTube as a whole, then I don't know enough about kind of natural language processing and stuff like that to analyze the photos, to analyze the text. So instead of doing the YouTube project and hacking it up and doing a bad job at it, rather just use the other data set. I did find it on Kaggle. I'm not scraping any API. I wanted to scrape an API, but I honestly, this data set's so good, and I like it. I like Kickstarter, so I'm gonna roll with it. Gonna do that, and yeah, slap that on my resume. And then the other part of today is going to be applying to a boatload of software engineering and data science internships, which I'm wildly underqualified for. But I don't expect on doing an internship this summer as much as maybe in the fall and more likely next summer. But just getting experience, if I get a couple of interviews with my resume, then awesome. If not, no big deal. But yeah, that's the plan. So, alright, well, that went actually pretty well. You can see in the background here that is my data set all cleaned up. I have not done any feature engineering yet, so there's still some things that need to be encoded, some things that need to be crossed. That's how machine learning is, and then I'm gonna run it through some different models and see what the best results I can get are. I feel pretty good. This is a really good data set that really doesn't benefit from anything that I don't already know. Granted, if I don't know it yet, I wouldn't know if the data set would benefit from it, so I'll take that criticism, but as far as I'm aware, there is no massive thing that I'm unaware of that can be applied, like natural language processing, which I really want to apply to the YouTube dataset, but I really can't yet because I don't know how, so it would be disingenuous for me to just Google my way through it. Not that, I mean, that's a good way to learn, but I wouldn't understand what I was doing along the way, so just a little bit of studying needs to happen. Alright, so I ran into a bit of a problem. God, I need to not have just woken up. So I was working on that Kickstarter project, and I started to realize something. A fair bit of the columns we would only really know once the project had been completed, that being the Kickstarter project that we're trying to predict whether or not it will be successful. Like, what the final amount pledged to the project would be, or how many backers there would be. Well, we're not going to know that, and by the time we do know that, we're going to know whether or not it was a success. So after dropping those columns and trying to do what I can with the rest of the features, it didn't wind up being a very accurate model, and I really don't think the data is there to do it. So yeah, that kind of sucks. So obviously, failure of a project. It is what it is. It didn't really take me that long, so it's not like that much time is wasted, and it was a really good lesson. So I'm not like heartbroken over it, but it's definitely inconvenient. And yeah, so I think, I don't know, I really want to move on to the kind of JavaScript web development stuff, but I kind of feel an obligation to get a project done after like learning all that I learned about machine learning and data science. So we'll see. I'll probably just scroll through Kaggle, the competitions, and see what I can do as far as the competitions are concerned. But there's a solid chance that I just say, like, all right, I did the digit recognizer. I didn't really talk about that. I did the Titanic. I tried to do my personal project. Maybe try and scroll through Kaggle, see what else I can grab. But yeah, I'm feeling like I can take a solid break here, or I can just do the final project that's assigned in the University of Michigan course too. That's also valid. So yeah, that's it for this little part though. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. We'll see. You'll see in the next clip. So I kind of lied to you guys. I didn't do any of the things that I just said I was going to do. Instead, I have really been diving deep into Free Code Camp, and the reason I did that was because I was kind of experiencing burnout from all the machine learning stuff. I guess it's kind of bound to happen when you throw yourself at something for 4 to 5 weeks, but I also felt like the second I got into any intermediate concepts, I was just in way over my head. And Tech with Tim talks about that in one of his podcasts. I'll link it down below. he says how with machine learning, there's this introductory period where you're going to be able to learn a lot of stuff. You'll feel like you're getting it, and then you will hit that wall where you need the math, where you need the programming skills. And if you don't know how to program well, and if you don't have the math, then you're going to have a tough time, and you're probably not going to work out. So I think that's kind of the wall that I hit, and I'm pretty satisfied with that. I mean, I threw myself at something for 4 and 5 weeks, which alone is a feat in and of itself, and I kind of got as far as I could given my current situation. Now, once I learn that math in university, once I become a better programmer through free code camp, through web development, or whatever I do in programming, then I'll be able to come back to machine learning. I'll come back to this project, and I'll be able to do it successfully. I'll probably make a follow-up video in a month or two when I feel more confident. And that's what the plan is going to be right now. I'm glad that I did this project. I think this project was kind of a dynamic success, not a success in the traditional way where I have this shining project that I can show you and now I'm a professional data scientist in 30 days, but I never expected that to happen. It was an experiment. Some parts of the experiment worked out. I learned a lot, and some parts of the experiment didn't work out. And that's about all you can really ask for. I'm honestly just glad that I committed to doing something for 30 days, and I did it. The success of that thing almost doesn't even matter as much as the grit of doing that thing. So yeah, that's the state of DIY data science. This is probably going to be the last episode in the series. I'm not going to talk too much about the free code camp stuff that I've been doing, because that's probably going to be a series in and of itself. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed DIY data science. Again, I really do think that the how I would teach myself data science again, lessons learned from something like that thumbnail and title is going to be coming out. I'll put the link in the description to it no matter what, even if it's unlisted and it hasn't come out yet, so you can check that video out. But yeah, so look at that if you want my closing thoughts on everything. This video has already gotten a little bit long. So that's going to be it for the series. I hope you stick around for me to learn other parts of programming and software development. I hope you don't think I'm a failure for not completing the project and getting a little bit burnt out. Lessons have been learned. But that's going to be it. Peace.